Hello Cloud Gurus, I'm Nigel Poulton, the author of the Kubernetes book, and welcome to Kubernetes This Month, the show that keeps you bang up to date with the major things going on in the Kubernetes universe. First up in this month's Quick Bytes section, November saw our second virtual KubeCon event of the year with KubeCon North America. There were loads of good sessions, hats off to everyone who made the event happen, and keep an eye out for the session recordings appearing on YouTube. The CNCF released its 2020 Cloud Native Survey, and we'll take a look at some of the highlights of that in our deeper dive section. Mirantis has released its own Kubernetes distro called K0s, or maybe KOS or KOS, who knows, but it's based on Upstream, it's fully open source, but the aim of the game is to make Kubernetes as simple as Docker-made containers. Linkerd shipped version 2.9 with improvements to their zero-config MTLS, as well as support for ARM. Cisco announced its intent to effectively buy or acquire Hungarian startup Banzai Cloud as it continues to grow its emerging technologies and incubation team while it builds out its own container platform. And finally, some sad news. November saw the passing away of Dan Kohn, former executive director of the CNCF. Our thoughts and wishes are most certainly with Dan's family at this time. Okay, in this month's deeper dive section, we'll take a closer look at what the Cloud Native 2020 report is telling us, and we'll make a short mention of some of what Dan Kohn did for the Kubernetes world and the wider open source community. Okay, so every year the CNCF conducts a survey to help us get a feel of which CNCF technologies are in use and basically how we're using them. Now, I'm not usually one for reports like this, but I do always take the time to read through this particular one. So, what's it telling us? Well, no surprises really. Use of containers in Kubernetes is just going up and up. So, 92% of respondents are using containers in production. Now, of course that doesn't mean that all of their stuff in production is on containers, but 92% of respondents have got at least something on containers in production, and that's pretty impressive. In fact, it's up about 300% on the 20-odd% that it was from back in 2016. 83% of respondents are using Kubernetes in production, 82% are using CI/CD pipelines, but I think of most interest to me at the moment is that 55% of respondents are running stateful applications in containers in production. Now, I personally expect this to increase significantly next year. Now that the CSI is baked, vendors are bringing solid CSI plugins to the party, and we're starting to see the major data management companies bring their battle-hardened storage systems to the party. So I'm personally predicting a big 2021 for persistent workloads on Kubernetes. Also of interest though, 27% of respondents are using a service mesh in production. Now, that's up 50% on last year's figure, and it's quite a lot more than I would have thought. So I guess it's obviously a sign that people are deploying more complex environments that desperately need service meshes. And for me, those are the highlights of the report, but it's free to read in the link below. Okay, rounding out the news for this month, I feel it's only right to mention a few things about Dan Kohn. So it's fair to say that Dan was pretty much Mr. CNCF. I mean, he led the organization from its early days right to the heady heights that we're experiencing now. He was front and center at KubeCon and Cloud Native Con events, which he helped grow to staggering sizes. And I think in general, he brought the community a great balance of technical and business acumen that had a massive part in shaping it into what it is for us today. But aside from the technical and business elements, he led an organization that championed inclusivity like no other organization I've personally interacted with. Like, KubeCon and the wider community are safe places for everyone, no matter who you are or what your differences might be. And that was under Dan's watch. So, for all of that and so much more, I express my personal thanks to Dan Kohn, and my thoughts and wishes are with his family. Okay, time for Guru of the Month. Last month I asked the question, why the Kubernetes logo has 7 spokes? And the answer, of course, was that it's a reference to 7 of 9, the Borg drone rescued by the crew of the USS Voyager under the command of Captain Catherine Janeway. Well, everyone got it right, but this month's lucky winner is Eric Clock. So Eric, well done, and watch out for the post where you're going to be getting a goodie bag from us. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and leave a comment if you've got any feedback on the show. And I'll see you all again next month. Same Cube time, same Cube place.